What's good? It says Pastor Kane with the Hurricane Night Baptist Church. Man, that shit sound horrible and funny at the same time, don't it? Don't it? But anyway, man, this is your man's Hurricane. This is the Sunday Hood service. And you know, where we deconstruct Christianity and break shit down. We're gonna be going through some videos today. I might do two services. We got an afternoon service right now, and the next service might be a little later in the afternoon, probably the evening, maybe at night. Who knows? Who knows how the game goes? But we got to talk about this shit. I bet it's peaceful right now. It's a Sunday. All the evil people in church giving their shame, guilt, and regret on the altar. Give it a God. You know what I'm saying? Give it a God. Gone. Anyway, we're gonna go over some channels, and we're gonna give our input and do some video breakdowns and talk about our life. Shit, what made me leave Christianity? Shit, all my prayers was never answered. Let's get that shit out the way. Prayers wasn't answered because the people I prayed for got worse. Situations got worse. So, like, if anybody want to leave Christianity for a specific reason that's motherfucking, that affected your life, then yeah, I'm leaving. Like, shit. Mother's on drugs. We live in place to place, house to house, shelter to shelter, a bando to a bando, stand with people to stand with people. And you expect me to still keep on praying and believing that shit gonna change? Nah, it didn't change. Motherfuckers got worse. And not to mention the motherfuckers that's on drugs, they claim to be fucking Christian. But if you get baptized, you're supposed to change your life. That means put down the fucking crack rock, or put down the alcohol, or put down the blammer, get the fuck out the street type shit. Change your fucking life. But no, motherfuckers go here to hear a feel-good doctrine, and once they leave church, they be worse than they was before they got in that bitch, going back to fuck shit up. Shouts out to Jordan. Was good. Had a hangover last night. What? Wait a minute. Wait. Jordan, how the fuck can you have a hangover on wine? Because, like, that's all I know you drink. I ain't heard you never drink anything other than wine. So how the hell you get a hangover over some wine unless you took 2 bottles of wine to the neck? You had to be drinking out the motherfucking bottle, and it had to be 2. Because I never heard anybody in known life get a hangover off of wine. Now, I'm glad we're talking about wine, because that's what they were sipping on during the Jeebus days, and niggas was getting drunk like a motherfucker. But they had to have drink cases. I mean, well, they're not cases. What they have at the time of the Jesus days, not cartons, jars. They had like big ass jars and cauldrons of wine. So you say yes, she was drinking out the bottle. For real, you have to drink, like, I'm talking about like 2 full bottles. You don't even get a hangover off of 1 bottle. You can drink like 1 bottle to the next to yourself. But 2 bottles, and depending on what it is, and depending on the size, you had to have bought the biggest bottle of some good shit. Well, no. 2 of the biggest bottles of good shit. You probably already had 1/2 bottle was already drinking, and you bought another one just in case. Like, fuck it, I'm about to be done with this. Right, most definitely. See, how do I know? Give it to God. Yeah. Yep. I was on 2 live stream last night. Yeah, you see? Yeah, 2 bottles would do it. Definitely. 2 big bottles would do it. 2 small bottles, no, you might need 4 small bottles, but 2 Definitely two big bottles. Going off that, I'll be going off that sweet red or the motherfucking Moscato or what's the other shit? Sangria or Sangia, whatever the fuck that shit called. But we about to go to this channel. Her name is Christy. I think she got two channels, but this channel is called Jezebel Vibes. It's a sweet looking little piece right here. She could get it with her little sweet looking self. She looked like she give off the vibes of what's the name of the girl? Starlight from The Boys. but this is about when Christians leave Christianity and they go off and do their own thing. This is what some of us have been told. Y'all probably heard this before. I know I've heard this before. And I had to defend myself. I was like, bitch. I was like, one, I go to work. I come straight home. I'm not in the streets. I don't have a motherfucking criminal record. Just because I'm leaving Christianity doesn't mean I'm about to be an evil motherfucker. No, I'm just about to do me and live off my morality, my standards, and my values without a God. Because I am God. Give it a God. God of fire. God of wind. God of storms. I am the breath of the ancestors, the wrath of the ancestors. You better ask about me. Give it to God. God.
You left Christianity because you just wanted to sin. I've heard this a lot, and I probably get it in my comments every single day. I've had everyone from my family members to strangers tell me the reason I left is because I did not want to be held accountable to God, and that all I wanted to do was live a life of sin and fulfill all of my depraved desires.
Yeah. I want to live the life of sin and fulfill all my depraved desires. Man, one, fuck God. Because at the end of the day, ain't nothing wrong with your desires. My desire is to motherfucking be the best at this music shit or like be the best at this art. You know what I'm saying? You want to fulfill your desires. Yeah. What if I want to have a harem? That'll be a desire. Give me 2, maybe 3 beautiful chicks by my side. And like they my bodyguards. I'll be like Samson off a Half Baked. You know, these women can fight and shoot people. You know what I'm saying? Or I could be like Showboat off of House Party 3. Showboat don't trust shit. And who he had? He had like some female bodyguards, didn't he? It's like nigga, don't fuck with my money. Fuck with my money, fuck with my sister. But don't fuck with my money. Oh, that's too big. All right, let's make some money. But yeah, this is what I heard. You just want to sin. Oh, like you just want to do wrong. And I had to defend myself like, man, bitch, I ain't even out there in the streets. I'm doing better than your motherfucking kids that's in and out of fucking jail. So get the fuck out of here. You know what I'm saying?
And that was the reason. That was why I chose to leave the faith. That's what they say. And I think this is such a funny accusation coming from the same crowd who uses Jesus as a scapegoat to escape the punishment for their own sins. The crowd that believes that all they have to do in order to be forgiven for anything that they do here on earth is ask an invisible deity inside their mind to forgive them for that.
Yeah, motherfucker kill a motherfucker, be like, oh, all right. All I gotta do is repent and I'm good. It's like a motherfucker ruin her life or kid's life. As long as I gotta repent in the end, I'm good. No, bitch, you're not. Because if God was real, that shit is horrible. Oh, you be bad all your life and you come to me on Sundays. Or you be bad all your life, never seen me at all, never even read a book, but come to me on your deathbed. Bitch, fuck you. If I was gone.
It's funny that the people who use Jesus as a scapegoat to escape the punishment for their own sins.
Yes, and y'all motherfucking Christians use Jesus as a motherfucking scapegoat. Y'all blame the devil for shit. Y'all blame Jesus for shit. Oh my God, my day fucked up. I'm being attacked by the devil. No, bitch, your day fucked up because you probably walked in a place that you ain't supposed to be in. Or you walked into an area, didn't even read the fucking room. You know what I'm saying? We can control our day. People don't understand how much we can control our day from friends, family, and our job, period. You know what I'm saying? If you wake up and be like, I don't feel like going to work, you can call off. You know, and me, I did that plenty of times. I had a bad day at work one day. I'm like, you know what? I'm not coming in tomorrow. And I motherfucker stick to that. I'm like, nigga, I'm not coming in tomorrow. I'm gonna call off, and I don't give a fuck what they do on the day I come back to work. That's freedom. That's freedom. Freedom. Like, nigga, you gotta value your own mental health and your physical health. If a motherfucker job took a toll on your body and your mental, oh yes, I'm calling off the next day. I don't give a fuck. Fire me, write me up, put me on a list unknowingly. I don't give a shit.
Think that they are holding themselves accountable by letting someone else take their punishment. And so, in a way, I think that it is actually the Christian who is escaping accountability for their actions and the things they do if they are just letting God wash all their sins away and going to heaven, even though they admit that they deserve hell for their sins. Now,
Yeah, yeah. Like I just talked about my moms, you know, smoke, drink, fucked around all of our life, stupid, selfish, stubborn, put us through motherfucking hell and danger and shit. All the way to the very end, still trying to help her get a place, but you follow my stupid ass, jailbird ass brother to an abando that he said he owned. But when your ass, stupid ass got in that bitch, he wasn't fixing up on shit. Like he just took the house and put you in it in filth. Man, show y'all the pictures. But it's a mother phone. But goddamn. You know what I'm saying? And then the excuse was, I ain't listen to you because the way you talk to me. Oh, but when I was talking to you nice, telling you what you should do, stack your bread, do this and do that so that you don't have to be in debt, charge my little brother and that bitch that's in that fucking room some bread. They're staying there for free. You can sell my old room or sell the fucking basement that has a bathroom and a kitchen. 250, 300, bam. You don't even gotta talk to my stupid ass little brother. But if you need that extra bread, then get it. But no, y'all motherfucker do shit and complain about it. And yet you claim you're Christian and shit. You're supposed to motherfucker be the motherfucker trying to keep the roof over your head, trying to keep being financially stable, at least trying to maintain. But no, all thing my mama cared about is smoking, drinking, fucking around. And my stupid ass little brother. In and out of fucking jail, and she keep on defending this stupid ass nigga. Fuck the bullshit. I prayed for all this shit to change, and it never did. Shit got worse. My brother's still in the goddamn street. My mother died in her stupidity because she wanted to be in the fucking street. I hated every moment being in the streets as a kid because of her. 12, 1, 2, 3 in the fucking morning because she want to hang out. Knowing that we got to get up and go to school. You know what I'm saying? Fuck this shit. You know what I'm saying? And they say, oh, motherfuckers in heaven right now with everybody else. No, if that shit was real and you ruined your life and our life and expect to be in heaven in the end, nah, fuck that. If that shit was real, you're burning. I'm sorry to say it. Give it to God.
I don't think that anybody deserves hell for anything they do here on earth, but
if a motherfucker choose, much love, Vanta, the first lady of the church, welcome. But if you devote your life to just being wrong and you know it's wrong, just know you should be going to hell. If it's real, I don't believe in. I think heaven and hell is a state of mind. Heaven and hell are conditions. You know, I'm saying it's like the more wrong shit you do, the more bullshit you do, you will live a hellish life. It's simple. The more good things you do, the more righteous shit you do, you'll have a good life. Even though you might have a bad day, you can look in the mirror and be like, I ain't fuck nobody over. I ain't lie to nobody. I ain't play nobody. I ain't do nothing to incriminate myself. I ain't kill nobody. I ain't steal from nobody. I can look in the mirror and be like, I am good in the eyes of myself. Not in the eyes of God, I am good because I deem myself so. You know what I'm saying? I ain't fuck nobody over. I ain't burn no bridges. You know what I'm saying? Like I can look in the mirror and I can lay down in peace. But much love to my first lady. What's up, Brittany? Been a minute. Welcome to the church. Give it to God. God. At the end of the day, you know you done right. Exactly. You feel me? I could go to sleep every day knowing that I done right by myself, done right by my people, done right by everybody online, by, like I try to give by truth and whatnot. You know what I'm saying? This is a form of love. Give it to God. God. I'm the God of fire. God of wind. God of storms, baby. But you are right. You are right. Much love. You know, it's like no matter what we do, it's like what's crazy is what we doing right now, and we're not Christian, they would see us doing bad. But if we was Christian, still doing the same shit we doing right now, everything is all good. Like I was online seeing a chick. I'm just like scrolling through, and I saw a chick half naked. Well, fuck it. You might as well say she was naked. She had a fishnet on. You can see everything. And she twerking and talking about happy Sunday, God is good, or some shit like that. It was a Christian post, but she was shaking her ass and titties all over the place. I was like, damn, I'm like, I like what I see, but like at the same time, like you're tainting what's supposed to be righteous. Like that's like a chick coming into church unproperly dressed and just in that bitch twerking for Jesus. But we go online and we see these videos twerking for Jesus. I seen a pastor slam a motherfucker in the name of Jesus, slapping motherfuckers. I'm talking about like there's supposed to be some baptisms going on or some real motherfucking sanctuary shit. But nah, it is fucking crazy out here. Crazy. Give it to God.
That's, according to the Christians, we all deserve hell. We've all done terrible things. We've all sinned against God. And luckily, Jesus is there to take that punishment away. But I'm trying to figure out how that's being held accountable for your sins at all. It would seem that me, as a non-believer, not allowing Jesus to be the scapegoat.
Gotta add.
Going to hell for my sins would be the definition of me taking accountability. But of course, Christians don't really see it that way. And so they have to point fingers and accuse me of just wanting to sin so that they can kind of maintain their sense of security in their own faith.
Yeah, so they can maintain sense of security in their own motherfucking faith. Like, look, you may call me a sinner, but I accept my faith. I accept all my so-called sins. But at the end of the day, I know what I do. I go to work. I come home, take care of my motherfucking household and these fucking bills. I'm in the music, art, literature, podcasting, gaming. Bitch, I am not in the streets in nobody's face. I'm not motherfucking in and out of jail. I'm not an alcoholic and I'm not on fucking drugs. So whatever you call sin, bitch, is probably what the fuck you doing. I like to call that deflection, bitch. Like you just want to sin. And motherfuckers think everybody's a born sinner. But what about the parents that have been baptized and they bring in a loving child in the world? They're still born a sinner? I don't think so, according to my logic, and of course everybody else's logic and critical thinking skills. No, if I'm saved and my girl's saved and we bring in a child, that child is saved. Simple. This is why I want all of us to click up and have our own community, because we can bring the real light beings into this world.
I'll say that most of the time when people say this to me, they are strangers who know nothing about my life. But I have had people from my past and family members who know me and knew my journey tell me this same thing. Hey, you just want to sin. You're just trying to live a life of sin. And my response to that is, if that was all it was, if it has nothing to do with my intellect or my critical thought, it has nothing to do with my non-belief, and my entire reason for walking away from Christianity could be reduced down to I just want to sin, I would not have left.
And you ain't got the dang police either, right? You feel me? You did. Make sure we like, share, and subscribe. Welcome to the Hurykane Sunday Hood service. Give it to God. God.
Christianity. I would have had no need to leave Christianity. I would have just stayed a Christian and I would have gone to church every Sunday and I would have prayed for God to forgive me of all of my sins and been really, really genuine about it and then just kept sinning.
Yeah. And then just kept sinning like most Christians do. And I used to be like, God, forgive me for my sins. And I never sinned like a bit, like, like at all. And I'm just being real. I was a good fucking kid, straight A student, honor roll. But nigga, life took a toll on me once I got to 10th grade, like in high school. I was like, yep, fuck all this shit. It wasn't the school that was the pressure. It was the motherfucking the home life after I got out of school. You know what I'm saying? And then shit, like they say, depression, stress, anger, that shit lowers your fucking IQ. You know what I'm saying? And plus, then I think during my 11th grade year, 11th or 12th grade year, that's when I left home and I said, fuck it. I'm about to live on my own, stay with this chick. She claimed she was a woman of God, but played me like a goddamn orchestra. And that God shit was all a front. All the front. I'm talking about, man, I never did so much church shit in my life. Reading every day, but it was good reading because I had to study. And but it was the watching the church programs, listening to church music, going to church conventions, doing the intercessory prayer. Intercessory prayer is you go to church like 5 or 6 o'clock in the fucking morning. Right before everything started, you go in there and get your prayer on for about an hour, hour and a half, like eat a little breakfast and you go home. Yep, I did all that. Whew. But I learned a lot. Learned more, like especially when the deacon told me, he's like, yo, nigga, that speaking in tongues shit is some bullshit, dog. Just say whatever. So like in my mind, I'm like, so there's a whole bunch of motherfuckers in here just making up gibberish. He was like, yeah, so just just go along with it. Just pray and say a little bit of tongues here and there, so like they can know that you part of the church and you know how to do it. They like, I'm talking about like, how can you teach a motherfucker how to speak tongues? That's why I'm glad the deacon was real with a nigga. They was like, yo, man, that shit is real. So just think about it. There's a whole bunch of motherfuckers speaking, blah, 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 jumping around in church like a bunch of retards. This is why I say you can have the motherfucking 30 degrees, but when it comes to Christianity, y'all turn it to dude.
Because that's what all the Christians do anyway, right? I mean, isn't that what every Christian does? There isn't a Christian out there who is sinless. I have definitely had some Christians try to claim that they are sinless, and there are certainly Christians that will claim they are sinless once they are saved, and I don't really know how that works other than they're just
right. There is some Christians be like, oh yeah, I'm saved, I'm good, I can do whatever I want. Like, no, bitch, you gotta change your life. You gotta stop smoking, drinking, and fucking around. But me personally, like after leaving the motherfucking faith, it was like this. Ain't nothing wrong with smoking, drinking, whatever. But if that shit interferes with your livelihood or you paying bills and paying rent or staying functionable at work, then it's a problem. Because I like to live by the term work hard, play harder. You know what I'm saying? Work hard at work, go home and just get told down. You know what I'm saying? Hey. What the church say? Smoke weed every day.
the things that they do. But most Christians, I think, would agree that they still sin after they become saved. You don't stop sinning. Even Paul talked about this in his letters. Like, they talk about how what he desires to do, he doesn't do, and he just keeps sinning, and it's such a struggle.
Yeah, like it's such a struggle. It was like my mind wants to do it, but my motherfucking heart says you gotta motherfucking give your life to God. You know what I'm saying? Paul, see, like this is why Paul is such a motherfucking key figure in this whole situation, because most people are not Christians, they're Paulinians, Paulinian Christians. That means get baptized, do whatever you want in your mind, but make sure that you repent at the end of the day. It's like your mind is full of crazy thoughts, but your heart supposed to have God. But at the end of the day, your mind and your heart should align with each other. Mind, body, and spirit should be in line so you don't have to do this shit. You know what I'm saying? But it is what it is.
And so this is something that I think all Christians struggle with. There are entire sermons preached on struggling with sin and how to overcome it in your life, but you're still saved. You're still in Jesus. You're still sanctified. It's just that you continue to sin. But when you sin,
I ask you a question. How do you be making those like, share, subscribe, like texts? I'm like, those messages. I'm like, that is a cold ass font. I love that font. That is a nice font, Martha. Like, share, subscribe. I love that font.
you're forgiven by God. You have the blood of Jesus to cover you and sanctify you.
That might be an app. It might be an app where you could like make letters and probably send it to YouTube or whatever. I think that's an app.
And so if it was true that all I wanted to do was sin, I would have just stayed a Christian. I would have had no reason to walk outside the faith and leave it. There had to be more to it than that. And all of us who have left Christianity know that there is more to it than that.
Yeah, and we just ain't leaving Christianity just to be leaving it. We leaving it because it has impacted us to the point where, like we was more devoted. We was more devoted to this shit and wanted to know answers about this shit and ask questions about this shit. We devoted our motherfucking time, money, and faith to a church that took from you, to the people that will motherfucking play you or motherfucking talk about you and then fucking smile in your face. Backstabbers. Like I've been hurting that motherfucking church. They're like, yeah, you left because you was church hurt. So the fuck what? Yeah, I was church hurt. Some motherfuckers was abused in church. You gonna say the same shit to them? Yes, Christians do that. Christians do not give a fuck. But disclaimer, I forgot to put my disclaimer up. I am cool with conspiracy Christians because the conspiracy Christians look up what I look up and we expose our enemy together. But there's some conspiracy Christians that be trying to connect revelation with real world events. Like they a little cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs, but they still searching for the same shit that I'm searching up. They just, some just like to connect the book of Revelation to it. The next Christians that I do fuck with me, are the spiritual Christians. Since I'm in the meditation, they are in the meditation also. They believe that Jesus and God in heaven is in the heart. That's the heart chakra. You live in peace, love, harmony, joy, and you just keep on going up in your chakra system. Your heart chakra, throat chakra, third eye chakra, your crown chakra, so you can be a mastered light being. Understandable. I fucks with them because you become a god at the end of the day. The last Christians that I fuck with are the Gnostic Christians. The Gnostic Christians, they believe that the God of this Bible or the God of this world or the God of this universe that created physicality, his name is Yaldabaoth, and he comes from a great mother named Sophia from the Pleroma, the highest of the highest of the highest of heavens. She wanted to have a child on her own without the proper procedure to have a child in that realm, I guess. And she created an aborted fetus, so to say. Threw a rainbow and a cloud on it and a throne and cast that motherfucker out in the darkness. And that motherfucker woke up and just started creating. So if you want to read about the Gnostic doctrine, it's in the secret book of John, or you can read the Nag Hammadi scriptures from Nag Hammadi, Egypt, that was in the halls of Alexandria.
But to the outsider, to the Christian who's accusing us of this, they just reduce it down. They just can't, they have a hard time accepting that it comes from a place of non-belief. If you still believe in Christianity, you believe in the Christian God, you believe in the consequences of sin and the consequences of not following God, you probably are just going to remain a Christian. You don't really have any reason to walk away. somebody walks away when they stop believing, and belief is something that is outside of your control. You can't just wake up one day and say, you know what, I don't feel like believing in God anymore, so I'm not going to. It just doesn't work that way. You have to become convinced. It's a process, and belief is the result of becoming convinced of something. And so to reduce it.
You have a font generator. That's what's up. You on point with it. Shouts out to the First Lady Vonta. You already know. I love that font generator. That's what's up. It makes everything looks better. It make everything look sweet. You know, like like you make the chat light up. Thank you. It make the chat look great. I was voted Santa Claus once too. Yes, we all was. I was voted to Santa, and I wanted to smash the Tooth Fairy. I'm like, yep, as soon as I see that Tooth Fairy. Shit crazy. Yo. Shout out to the Bishop. Bearded. You know. This video is talking about what Christians tell us after we leave, and most of the time the Christians tell us, you want to leave because you want to sin. Give it to God. You know it. What's good? We was rocking out last night, y'all. I'm surprised y'all made it to church. But that's what we do. Like, after we party all night, we still make it to church. Both services. And the night service. You know what I'm saying? Shouts out. You already know what it is. Hurykane, but you can call this Hurykane. Shouts out to E40 Water. E40 Water. Shouts out to E40 for this one thing. He has a style that no one, I repeat, no one. No one can imitate that motherfucking style that E40 got. E40 got a style that is unmatched. And he rap fast. And he created his own genre. You know, so I'm like, yo, shout out to E40. And make sure y'all listen to E40 and Too Short. Like, they got this was a minute ago, but like they dropped, I think, like 2 or 3 albums together. Called The Late Shift or The Day Shift or some shit like that. You know, it was called. What's up? How did you know my real name? We used to work together. Finally found your page. They're gonna be saying my real name like that, but everybody know my real name anyway. But what up, though, man? What's good, my brother? We used to work together. Yeah, so you was probably at the parking, or like we was either working in the parking or we was working at Cobo Hall. It was probably the parking because I've been there like for longer years. Much love to you. Welcome to the church hood service.
And to ignore the journey and the process that we go through and all of the intricacies.
Shouts out. Make sure y'all come to the night service at Bearded Conversation tonight. You already know what it is. I know it's gonna be cold. I liked it that last one we did too. Like, that shit was lit. I liked it, the format of it, because it was organic like a motherfucker. It was like, started off cool, and then it just got entertaining like a motherfucker. I'm like, this is how you do a show. You know what I'm saying? Like start off with some motherfucking good questions being asked and answered and shit. Everybody sharing perspectives. And then the other bishops come in. That shit was cold, bro. It formed together perfectly. You know what I'm saying? Perfectly. That shit was organic like a motherfucker, man. I was rolling all night.
Our journey is really frustrating for a lot of us, I think. We get really frustrated when they just want to kind of reduce it down to something so simple, especially when we could have just stayed Christian, kept sinning, asked for forgiveness like they all do. But how interesting.
Exactly. I say the same thing. They like minutes before, they was like, I could have just stayed a Christian and kept sinning and just repent at the end of the motherfucking day like they do. But no, when I leave Christianity, it's a problem. Oh, you just want to sin. Oh, you just want to. Like, no, bitch, I told you. I go to work. I pay my bills. I'm not in and out of motherfucking jail. I don't hang around fucked up people. I'm in the music, art, literature, podcasting, bitch. Don't judge me. Like, this is why these type of Christians that I don't fuck with, like those are the condescending, judgmental, the ones that will motherfucker try to shame and guilt you because you left the faith alone. I'm like I told you why I left. I prayed all my life and I got no answer. People got worse, or situations got worse. You know what I'm saying? And then I did my own research on this book and found out there's too many puzzles, mysteries, riddles, contradictions, metaphors, symbolisms, parables, numerology, and a splash of spirituality. Then there was a whole bunch of holes in it. I have to fill in the holes by reading the Dead Sea Scrolls. Bars. Give it to God. And but and then I read about how it got over here to this land. And then after reading all that, it's like, oh no, I can't follow this book. I can't follow this book. And then the motherfucking traumatizing shit inside of the church on top of that, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna never forget my mama said that I'm gonna beat your ass if you don't go to motherfucking baptism. What? Bad enough, I don't want to go to church and we're being forced to go, but now you're forcing me to get baptized. That is no different from when the colonizers came over here, murdered, raped, and pillaged this land and forced that book on us. So I'm like, just like motherfucker thinking about that, it kind of triggered me. I was like, I really can't fuck with this book. I've been trying to tell people. Make sure y'all share the stream, family. Shout out to For Show TV and TNB, the Monkey Man. Yep, you already know. Yes, the Building Lounge was banging last night. I'm surprised that we are all here today in the Hurykane night Trappist church. We gonna ask. We gonna ask some questions. Give it to God.
That what led me away, what made me stop believing, was recognizing the absolute immorality of the Bible, of its authors, and of the God of the Bible. When I saw things like genocide, sexual assault, endorsed slavery.
You don't need a second job. You just need to learn how to talk to AI. To the people over 40 who
you don't need a second job. You need to learn how to hustle. Trapping ain't dead. Niggas just scared. Niggas
to use AI.
Slavery. Taking people captive during war and doing whatever you want with them, treating people as spoils of war, committing genocide. All of these things I saw in the Bible,
Hurykane night,
condoned by God, and I said, I don't like that. I think that's really bad and immoral.
Yes, I would tell God, like if I was right there next to God and God just heard a prayer from a prophet named Elisha. And Elisha, he prayed like, God, these kids are roasting my bald head. Now, I'm bald, you know what I'm saying? I want to blame my mama, but I got to blame my father. But I blame my mama first because she told me at 15 that I was going to lose my hair at 25. And I thought that was very hurtful. I lost my hair at 23. So here's why I blame my father. He out here looking like the kids next door, number one, at an early age, and you fucked my shit up on some hereditary shit. Give it to God. But I had to motherfucking get my confidence up. I'll be like, wait a minute. Being bald is cool. Like the ladies love Morris Chestnut. R. Kelly, Tupac. I think Denzel got bald at one point. It's like, y'all ladies love me. You know, like, plus y'all can rub my shiny bald head for good luck. And plus, I'm King Ma from the Invisible comic book, or Morpheus from the Matrix. I'm like, yo. But for like at least a month, I was like, oh my God, I need to buy that hair club for men. But I'm afraid of putting chemicals in my head because the government ain't shit. I don't trust these companies. You know what I'm saying? I tried everything, man. You know what I'm saying? Give it to God. The Hurykane. That's right.
Worshipping this God, I by default make myself immoral because
Yeah. Yeah. Going back to that. He killed those kids after Elisha prayed. That's all I gotta say. But like if I was next to God, I'd be like, yo, God, you really about to kill 40 kids? Yeah, nigga. No one talks about my nigga. I'm like, why is I'm an angel? Like, why is I'm up here? Why is I'm up here?
I'm worshiping and raising up an immoral God. It was the sins of God that drove me away. And everybody's got a different story. Some people,
right. It was the sins of God that drove her away. It was like, I read this book and God was doing some crazy shit. But Christians be like, oh, this is the New Testament now. But Jesus from the New Testament said, I come to not take any till from the law of God. So it's justified. He was like, yo, Jesus like, look, man, I ain't coming to take nothing away from my father's laws. I just came here to motherfucker teach some niggas and show some magic tricks. Yo, nigga, look at me walk on water. Moonwalk, bitch. Hey, yo, watch me feed 5,000 people with a 2-piece fish sandwich. Watch this.
will say it's the sins of the church that drove them away. And I think that's, just as valid. But for me, when I looked at the atrocities in the Bible, that's what drove me away.
Salute,
it had nothing to do with my own desires, what I wanted. What I wanted was to be a good Christian and to follow God. But instead, I found this God that was absolutely
You good.
A God full of sin. By the Bible's definition, a God full of sin. And so in a way, it was
Shouts out to Ray again. If it wasn't for you, man, Bonta wouldn't be showing all this much love. Thank you, man. Thank you. Shouts out to Ray. You the man, Ray.
actually my disdain for sin or for evil that led me away. So how funny is it that they claim, and I think this is probably the case for a lot of people. We walked away because we were reading, we didn't align with ethically. And so how funny is it that they accuse us of leaving because we want to live this wild, depraved lifestyle when it was the depravity in the Bible that actually pushed many of us away. And I do think that a lot of times when they are lashing out and they are saying these things to us, especially those that do not know us, when they're just complete strangers on the internet, I do think that there is a bit
complete strangers, not only on the internet. I actually experienced this shit firsthand in person. but this is the techno age, technological technological age.
Of perhaps envy going on in their minds, whether they want to admit to it or not. I know personally for me, when I was a Christian, it was a struggle.
Amen. Thank you, Vonta. They want to throw on my bandana one of this bitch like Tupac. Allow me to introduce Machiavelli, the Durham, spiritual, biblical lyrics like the Holy Quran. Niggas get shit like 5 vote for 45.
Watching people who were not Christians, who did not abide by all of the strict rules within Christianity and all of the expectations, who were living this free, happy, carefree lifestyle where they were doing what they wanted, where they were enjoying life.
For sure. Thanks for your support, bro.
Obligating themselves to these religious ideologies. And they were happy and free, and I was stuck having to obey God and do whatever He wanted to, and not follow my own desires, not explore my own identity, not live this life of freedom and autonomy. It was a struggle, and I know a lot of Christians struggle when they look at other people living their best life without God. There's got to be some envy there, and so when they're just like, you just want to sin. I think that they want to sin and they're jealous that we get to sin guilt-free, shame.
Yeah. I'm glad that's what she got out of it, because that's how it is on some Christians. They're like, damn, how you can leave Christianity without a second thought? Oh my God. You want to go sin? I want to go sin too. Shit. But I don't want to go to hell. Oh my God, what to do? I want to fulfill my desires. How about go to that bar? Go have a drink. Live it up for once. Get the Christian cross stick out your ass and just know who you are. Because at the end of the day, these Christians know right from fucking wrong. They tripping because they really want to do wrong. See, we left Christianity. We ain't doing no wrong to nobody. Not no wrong to ourselves. We wanted to live our own life based on our own high morals and standards without Christianity. It was like, no, I'm not a sinner. I'm a good motherfucking person. I have a lot of good friends. I ain't burn no fucking bridges. I ain't fucking over nobody. I ain't lying to nobody. I ain't stealing from nobody. I'm not hurting nobody. I ain't robbing no motherfucking body. I'm in the music, art, literature, podcasting, gaming, bitch. I am out the motherfucking way. But yet, I'm a sinner. How about just be real and go sin and watch the consequences unfold in your consciousness, because you're going to beat yourself up with shame, guilt, and regret. That's why they don't want to do it either, because they know what they want to do is really truly fucked up and will fuck over somebody, and they will have to deal with the guilt, the shame, the regret, and the consequences in their own mind. They're going to beat their own self up.
Free. We don't have to live in the confines of all the guilt and the shame and the weight of disappointing God with every little action and every little thought, every little emotion. That's exhausting. And I do not blame them for being envious. I don't blame them at all. If I was still trapped in that, I would be envious too. I would be. So I completely understand where they're coming from. But I do think that whether they admit it or not, I think that they're jealous. Their indoctrinated mind doesn't allow them to go to that place. And so they get angry and they lash out. But there's one last thing that I want to address concerning this that I think might help anyone who is walking away, who is being accused of just wanting to sin, who is feeling very defensive and insecure about that accusation. Because again, they're reducing our very treacherous journey of losing everything that we've ever known to be true and having to literally rebuild from the ground up and figure out our existence and reality and life and ourselves.
Exactly. Yeah, they are deducing that. It's like when we was in Christianity, we wanted to really be part of something. We really wanted to believe this shit, and we studied and studied and studied. But then, like once you start using your critical thinking skills and your comprehension skills and your common fucking sense, it's like, man, like this book is not meant to be motherfucking worshipped or believed. It's like, man, this is crazy. But it's a form of control. Like, watch the Book of Eli starring Denzel Washington, and watch what the bad guy was trying to do with that fucking book, just to find out that the Bible was in Braille. You know what I'm saying? But he needed that book to control the people. This book is a form of fucking control. But when Christians just say that, like, we just want to sin, nah, you want to sin and you're deflecting. Me, I'm a good motherfucker. I got a motherfucking track record of not fucking nobody over. I still have secrets that motherfuckers told me that I have forgotten. So it's like, shit. I've been knowing motherfuckers. I still got motherfuckers that I've known since kindergarten. You dig? I value friendship like a motherfucker. Friendship and shit, family will make you be like, nigga, fuck family. It's like it's like by the time you get older in life, you're only gonna pick maybe like 5 or 6 people in your family that you would consider family. Everybody else is on their own thing, or they look down on you for not being a Christian. They look down on you, call you crazy for being a revolutionary, or like they look down on you and call you crazy for not even wanting to be around them anymore. So it's like, look, fuck y'all. My friends like actually give a damn about me. Like, these are the friends that I call family. I call y'all family too. Give it to God.
Is
You dreamed up some delicious Domino's pizzas, like the viral pizza.
This is the perfect pizza.
And we want to see more. So we're bringing back
You know, it's the
Domino's. Let's
perfect
do
pizza.
life and ourselves. That is an intense, traumatic, awful journey. And for some people, it's way more awful than others. You know, it can be such a difficult, years-long journey. And so when they reduce that down to, you just want to sin, when they're trying to tell us that we are bad,
Salute,
for
third
doing
drop.
we are depraved, that all we're trying to do is be selfish and
Salute, Edgar
that
Mendez.
can be very frustrating. It can be infuriating, and it can just feel really bad. And so we can get very angry and defensive about that. But I have really shifted my perspective lately. I have learned to stop being so defensive all the time, and I'm not great at it. I still get very defensive.
Shit, I get defensive. Motherfucker tell me that you just want to sit. I'm like, motherfucker, nigga, I work. How many times I say this? Nigga, I work. I'm gonna be in this fucking streets. My record is fucking clean. I'm not an alcoholic. I'm not a fucking drug addict. Nigga, I don't hang around these stupid type of motherfuckers. I'm in a music, art, literature, and podcasting and gaming, bitch. Like, fuck what you talking about. I'm out the way. You know? So, yes, I'm going to keep that motherfucking sword and shield up. Let a motherfucking Christian say something stupid to me. Like, real shit.
am a very defensive person. It is just kind of how I am, and it's something I have really been working on for a long time.
You don't need to work on that because these Christians act like they can say whatever the fuck they want and expect us to be cool about it. No, fuck all that. Bitch, most of these motherfucking niggas in church are the biggest murderers, liars, and fucking thieves. They full of shame, guilt, and regret. Why you think it's peaceful right now on Sunday? Because everybody else in church giving it to God.
But I think if we shift our perspective and we stop trying to be so defensive about it, and we just embrace it, I think that could be incredibly empowering for a lot of people. It has been incredibly empowering for me, because when they say you just want to sin, you know, you might respond, you might say, well, what am I doing? What sin are you talking about? For me, I'm like, I spend my days just kind of chilling at home. I play Sims, I play with my dog, I cook for my husband, I go on hikes, I go to therapy, you know, like those are the things I'm doing on a regular basis. So I don't really know where I have room for all of this depravity. And
right, exactly. She just said what she did. She just said what she do on a daily basis. So where can I fit in this evil or this sin? You know what I'm saying?
Sin. But to them, every little thing is a sin. If you respond and you say, well, I'm not doing anything. You know, I'm not going out murdering people. I'm not going out hurting people. What am I doing that's so wrong? They'll say, well, you're not living for God.
Right. Well, yeah, you're not living for God. It's like, bitch, you're not living for God. Like, you're not living for fucking God. Like, bitch, please. You want to just hide behind fucking Jesus every time you motherfucking sin? Get the fuck out of here. Smoke, drink, fuck around, ruin your life, ruin your fucking kid's life, ruin the fucking neighborhood. But as long as you give it up to God, you good. No, fuck all that. You need to take accountability and responsibility for your fucking actions. Like real shit. And if God was real, nigga, all your prayers is not answered because you still think you can do whatever you want as long as you repent at the end of the fucking day or have that bitch ass mustard seed of faith. You good. You're going to get in. Well, let me tell you something. Spoiler alert. Here's what heaven is like. You're going to be worshiping, saying holy, 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 holy shit for all eternity. That sounds like slavery to me. Everybody think they're going to see their loved ones. Nope, that's not what it says in that book that y'all fucking believe. Nope, you're going to be saying holy, 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 holy for all eternity. And y'all don't even give a fuck about that being slavery because they say it's better than burning for eternity. Really? Read the depiction of how hell is. Because hell was formed from the thoughts of men because we was doing whatever the fuck we want. So they created these 7 or 9 hells, Dante Inferno to scare motherfuckers. And the Bible, the motherfucker like Gehenna is a fiery place that's burning outside of Jerusalem or Israel, wherever the fuck is outside of it. It says it's gonna burn just like that. Or what's that? Bottomless pit type shit. I think they said something like that. If it's a bottomless pit shit, nigga, it's better than fucking burning, better than worshiping. I'm just falling endlessly. I can take that. In the words of Eddie Griffin, Do anybody want to go to heaven? Motherfuckers have white suits on with wings and you can't have no pussy? No. I'd rather go to hell, get my dick sucked, smoke a joint, kick a bitch in the ass every now and then. Give it to God.
Or you're drinking, or you might go to a party here and there, or you might listen to secular music, or you might watch movies that don't glorify God. You might be exploring your sexual identity, and you might realize that you're trans. You might be living your most authentic life, and to them, all these little things you're doing that don't glorify God, that don't make God happy, they're sin. You're living in sin. And so my response to that now is not, no, I don't want to sin. It's yes. Yes, I do want to sin. Because what your concept of sin looks nothing like what my concept of immoral or unethical is.
Exactly. So embrace it. You just want to say yes. Yep, I want to do whatever the hell I want, as long as I'm not harming anybody and staying out the fucking way. Yep, if that's sin to you, it's not sin to me. Give it to God.
My life by what I think is moral and ethical. I don't live my life by how happy I think I'm going to make an invisible deity. And so when they say you just want to sin, you just want to not live for God, you just want to do things that God doesn't like. Well, if God doesn't like the way I live my life, if God doesn't like the fact that I don't believe in him based on a severe lack of evidence on his part, and that's sin to him, then yes, I do want to sin.
Yep, for real. God, all you gotta do is show your face. All you gotta do is show your face, show everybody that loves you, that devoted their life to you, your face, and everybody will probably change their motherfucking life. But no, you want to play hide and seek. You're the hide and seek champion. God is the greatest absentee father known to motherfucking fatherhood, and the greatest hide and seek champion. Give it to God.
That's how I would like to live my life. That is what's most authentic to me. Because what a Christian defines as sin, I do not. I don't think that all of these things that Christians say are sin is wrong, which, by the way, Christians have all kinds of ideas about what's sin. Some Christians think it's a sin to take a sip of alcohol, while some Christians think that it's perfectly fine to drink whenever you want to. Jesus turned water into wine. Some Christians believe it is wrong to dance, while other Christians love to get down. So everybody has got their own subjective ideas about.
Yeah. And this is why Christianity is so fucked up. This is why there's over 42,000 plus different denominations of Christianity. None of y'all can't come together. Give it to God.
What sin is, which is like a whole other conversation. But whatever the person hurling this at me thinks sin is, yes, I probably do want to do those things. When we can kind of flip it around, and instead of getting defensive and feeling bad about the fact that somebody thinks you just want to sin, maybe it's just time to embrace it. Maybe it's just time to say, yeah, I do want to sin. Because what I see as sin are things that you praise, things like genocide, war, impregnating young girls with the Holy Spirit, really weird out there things that I think are not okay. What I think is sin, you praise. And what you think is sin, I praise. It's really just subjective at the end of the day. But that's where I come to. Yeah. If you think that me just living my most authentic life.
Every driver in Michigan.
Shouts out the armchair revolutionary.
The drunk drivers been paying for insurance.
Yeah, if you think that me just living my most authentic life and being myself and not believing in things that I find to be unbelievable is a sin, then I want to spend the rest of my life sinning. And yes, I left Christianity to sin, and I'm okay with that. And so you see how empowering that can feel when you just flip it around.
Hell yeah, that shit feel good. Give it to God.
Embrace it, when you roll with it, and you don't feel the need to defend it, but instead you just say, you know what, that's the way it is. I think you're living in sin too when you're worshiping an immoral God. But you do you, I'll do me, and that'll be that at the end of the day. When people disregard what we've been through, and the pain and the trauma, it can just feel bad. It can. And so I fully relate to that. I understand it if you feel that way too, if you feel bad when people say things like that to you. But I think it's really important that we remember that it comes from a place on their part of ignorance of you and your journey and what you've done, but also a place of insecurity within themselves. The only reason they're saying it is because they see you living your best life. They see you carving out your most authentic path. They see you happy and free, and they can't reconcile that with someone who once believed and followed God, because if it can happen to you, it can happen to them, and that is very scary. Not everybody wants to go through this process that we've gone through to deconstruct. And I don't blame people for that. It's a very scary, difficult process, and I lost so much to go through it. But I also
Yep, I lost a lot of friends, family. I don't believe in that shit no more. Fuck all. I let my boss talk for me, my bitch talk for me, my God talk for me. Bow, what's up, homie? But no, I ain't go that route. But like they expect me to go that route. But like, no. I work, take care of my household, take care of these bills, music, art, literature, podcasting. Not an alcoholic. I'm not a gamer. I ain't robbing, stealing, killing no motherfucking body. You know, I ain't burning no bridges. You know, I'm keeping it cool, staying out the motherfucking way. And plus my crowd, my motherfucking circle, they all brothers and sisters with heads on their shoulder. Like I'm not hanging around nobody that's fucked up. If ain't nobody got their fucking life together by the fucking age of 25 or 30, then I can't fuck with you because y'all niggas in the motherfucking street all day talking about I'm outside. I remember when being outside meant being outside, getting in tune with nature. Now being outside is motherfucking got a negative stigma on it now. You know what I'm saying? Like, goddamn.
gained a lot, and I'm happy that I did it. I'm really
Much
happy that I
love,
did it.
Auntie, my first
Now I'm
lady.
at a point where it doesn't matter what they accuse me of. It doesn't matter what they say. I know who I am. I know my journey, and I know why they do it and why they say it. And
Salute,
recognizing
Brian.
those things can be so beneficial in just shifting your perspective moving forward, so that these things don't affect you as much. They don't hold you back. They go in one ear and out the other. You can let it roll off your shoulders, and you can just move on, and you can embrace the life that you're living, knowing that it is the most authentic life for you. Thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe, leave a comment, do the things that helps me out a lot.
Yep.
Don't forget, I do have a merch shop, jezebelvibes.com
Yep.
/shop. I'll link it in the description.
Yep. Her channel was called Jezebel Vibes, but she have another channel with her real name. I think her real name is Christy. You know, with the I at the end instead of a Y. But you know, I was watching other deconstructing Christianity channels. She was like on the top of the list. I watched her, Durante Lamar, and Coach Renz. So we're about to go to another one. Then we're gonna get up out of here, and then we're prepared for the other service. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to do though. Give it a go. But here's how Christians is now. Let's play this real quick.
If Jesus was here right now, would you let him in?
Of course I would.
Why?
As long as he went through the proper, as long as he went.
As long as he came here legally. As long as Jesus Christ came to this country legally, we would let him in.
Gentlemen.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, crazy. Some Christians, like, if Jesus came back, you know, legally, it's like, nigga, he's the son of God. Like, you wretched fucking human. You know, nigga, like, that's what I would have fucking said. I'm like, you wretched fucking human. You know who the fuck I am? I'm the juggernaut, bitch. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck is wrong with these people, man? Give it to God. Man. All right. Oh, where is that shit at? There we go. Why I say with certainty. There we go. There is no God. This is Durante Lamar. You know, when we come back for the next service, you're gonna be watching the coach.
Honestly, we've known this at least since the birth of sociology. There is no God. There was never one to begin with. Honestly, we've known this at least since the birth of sociology. If that upsets you, good. That means we're finally getting honest. The idea of God is not some neutral, timeless proposition. It's a product of human imagination, with roots traceable to specific cultures, needs, gaps in knowledge. To entertain the God concept as if it emerged from pure logic or dispassionate inquiry is to erase the very conditions that gave birth to it. An abstract God stripped of myth, story, ritual, and commandment is no longer the same idea. It's a rhetorical decoy. We don't take the possibility of Zeus seriously once we understand his mythological origins, so I treat the modern God of the gaps with any more reverence just because he wears philosophical perfume. I think it's time that we revisit the need to define God argument. Many skeptics fall into the trap of entertaining increasingly vague definitions of God, as though the conversation must remain open-ended out of intellectual fairness. I challenge the very legitimacy of this premise. The God concept is not untethered from human history. The idea of God doesn't exist in a vacuum. This is not just rhetorical, it's empirically demonstrable. Every known God concept has traceable sociocultural origins. The God idea emerges in response to survival needs, ignorance, social control, cosmological law.
Yep. Survival needs, social control. Yeah. That's the only time this motherfucker pops up, right?
These ideas evolved with language, hierarchy, morality, and early science. God is not an original truth. It's a cultural adaptation, byproduct of human speculation in pre-scientific context. So when someone
Ooh, a byproduct of human speculation. Give it to God. Now, this is Durante Lamar, ex-pastor of Christian Church. Now he's giving up the truth. Make sure y'all also look up Ray Haggins. Great brother, great shit. He really describes how most of these Christians are really Paulinians. Like, watch the story of Paul. Ray Haggins and how he breaks down Paul. Like, that shit is the first shit I saw him. I was like, yo, bro, I'm watching all these videos we talk about Paul. This shit was awesome. You know what I'm saying? But like, Ray Haggins got a whole bunch of other shit too. You know, but give it to God.
Presents an abstract God without cultural baggage, without intervention, without testable traits. They are not defending the concept as it actually evolved, but rather an intellectual reconstruction retrofitted for apologetic survival.
Thank you, First Lady.
Is mentioned, they immediately think of either a straw man or red hair, entertaining the idea that a coherent philosophical God exists when most people functionally believe in a socially meaningful God, personal, moral, interventionist. It's a distraction. Philosophical God who does not intervene, interact, or otherwise introduce itself into the activities or affairs of humans should be definitively discarded from the conversation.
Exactly. Any motherfucker that has not shown his face in any way, shape, or form should be discarded from the fucking conversation. Shouts out to Durante Lamar. Give it to God. Ex-pastor.
As long as it continues to mind its own business. I don't find reason to discuss the possibility of something that has no utility. Yeah, it may exist, but you'll never know. You'll never see it. You don't really need it. It doesn't really need you. At this point of abstraction, we could effectively be talking about anything or nothing at all.
Exactly. That be right. That shit right there. What he just said, if anybody caught it, let's play that again.
Discarded from the conversation as long as it continues to mind its own business. I don't find reason to discuss the possibility of something that has no utility. Yeah, it may exist, but you'll never know. You'll never see it. You don't really.
Yeah, it may exist. You never know. You never see it. That shit should just get the fuck out of our minds. That thought right there. So we should just let that shit go. God ain't real. Government is killing us through the food, through the water, through the air, through disease. We need to take those evil motherfuckers out so we can have peace on planet fucking Earth. Captain Planet. By your powers combined, I am Captain Planet. Yeah, Ray Haggins dope. And he was an ex-pastor for 30 plus years. 30 plus years. Before he said, you know what? I can't keep on preaching this lies and bullshit no more. So he devoted the rest of his life to giving out the truth. So, you know, yeah, you know, like that's why I fuck with Ray Haggins.
Need it. It doesn't really need you. At this point of abstraction, we could effectively be talking about anything, nothing at all. To me, that's a clear straw man. Let's look at the red herring aspect. When you look at what this claim is and call it out objectively, it's diverting from the collapse of traditional God claims by leading into vagueness. Well, maybe there's just something out there. This shift to an abstract God.
Right. And then we get to that thought. Maybe there's something out there. Something gotta have made this shit. Nigga, we gotta get the fuck out of that thought too. Fuck it. We changing paradigms. Hurricane style. Give it to God. For real. Something gotta be out there to make all this shit. Well, nigga, what if this shit was an accident? How about that? Oh my God, you are an evolutionist. And you are a brainwashed Christian. Let's dance. What if this shit just came to be? What if this shit was already here? You know what I'm saying? Remember, these gods come from human speculation over time. Shit was written by men. I think 72 scholars did a work of translating the fucking Septuagint or some shit. You know what I'm saying? Men wrote the Bible. And plus, you can go to the Bible right now and just look at the beginning of your goddamn book. Genesis 1 and 2. Which one was goddamn first? Genesis 2 obviously supposed to have been written first. It starts off with contradiction. But yet they tell me the Bible don't have contradictions. Yes, they do. It has it at the beginning. But y'all just overlook it because of God.
It's not a continuation of the original claim. It's an evasion strategy, rhetorical sleight of hand to avoid conceding that religious gods.
Gold, oil, and dollars. Yep. I used to say gold, oil, and drugs. Yep.
Thought experiment is not a revelation. The world of anecdote is not data. When defenders of God reduce the concept to mere possibility, we leave the realm of religion, community, morality, and lived experience and enter a world of falsifiable speculation, semantic gymnastics, and metaphysical wish casting.
Yep. And y'all used to hear guns, oil, and drugs. See, I know we all on the same page. We all on the same street. We all go in the same direction. Yep. Yep. In 2000. In 2000 years, we'll folk be reading Harry Potter thinking it's fact. Yep. See, exactly. Yep, exactly. You know exactly where I was going. That's why I got to get my doctrine together. I got to put my revolutionary doctrines together, just spread that shit all across the country right now. Right now. I gotta put them pamphlets out there. You know it.
At some point, you must hold the line and say, this isn't a serious academic pursuit anymore. It's a game of God-shaped shadows.
Woo! This isn't an academic pursuit anymore. This is a game of God-shaped shadows. That means anybody wasting their time debating on if God existing or not is a waste of fucking time. There's no debating. It's like we're here to deconstruct and motherfucking deprogram the minds of these crazy ass people. Like real shit. But like they don't think they crazy. But shit, if we can tell our kid that Santa Claus and the Easter Bunny and the Tooth Fairy ain't real, then we should be grown enough to tell them a grown person that Jesus, Allah, all these motherfuckers in these motherfucking religions are not real. Let them show themselves, take their people to heaven, and leave everybody else here to their own devices that don't believe. You know what I'm saying? Come and grab your people. You know what I'm saying? Come and grab all the starving children. Come and grab the starving adults. Stop this human trafficking. Stop these wars. You know what I'm saying? He ain't doing none of that shit. God is a sadist.
Just as you wouldn't endlessly debate the existence of unicorns after showing they are mythological artifacts, we shouldn't indefinitely indulge the God concept when its origins are clearly anthropogenic. This is why I stand firm when I say there is no God. The claim doesn't exist in a vacuum. Historical assertion that God exists is never neutral or context-free. It always comes packaged in cultural baggage, historical narratives, frameworks, and authoritative claims over how people should live. When someone says God, they're not just making a metaphysical claim. They're often invoking a specific tradition with specific consequences and interventionist expectations. 100% of interventionist God claims are historical.
The only Santa I want to be real is the Santa with the AR-15 and the elves got their blammers too and shit, and they helped out Doctor Who and shit.
It's been tied to origin stories, miraculous events, chosen people, or divine interventions, all of which fall apart under historical, scientific, logical scrutiny. For example, Yahweh's authorship of the Torah, Allah's dictation of the Quran, Jesus' bodily resurrection, all are historical claims that can be and have been critically examined and reasonably dismissed. Once those claims fall, God tied to them collapses as well. Now,
exactly. Once those stories fall, the God of those motherfuckers falls with it. It's like once you start debunking these stories and be like, man, this shit is horrible. And some is like, okay, this shit is plot driven. That shit don't make no sense, but they got to do that to carry the plot of the story. Oh my God, who writes this shit?
Dealing with undefined gods, these are empty containers. When apologists retreat to vague language, a higher power, something out there, the ground of all being, the thing that connects us all, abandon definition together. often creating these really interesting false dichotomies. Again, the thing that connects us all together. There are multiple things that connect us all. Light connects us all. Being in the same universe connects us all. Being on the same planet connects us all. You see the problem here? There's also a logical problem. God with no attributes can't be evaluated. You can't disprove a claim that makes no claim. Existence.
Right. You can't disprove a claim that makes no fucking claim. It's like the Bible on trial, and the Bible needs evidence of its existence, and there is no evidence of existence. You're using its own Bible. Like, I'm going to defend myself, Your Honor. All right, prove your existence of God. Well, in my book, no. We need another book that proves your God. There isn't one. I'll be like, there's a Dead Sea Scrolls. They forgot to put this in the book. All right, read it. Yeah, it says God is evil. Evil as fuck, bruh. But if that's supposed to be part of the Bible, then you got to put it with the Bible. So there's nothing to prove that shit exists.
This requires sufficient definition in order to be meaningful. A God that's nothing but a placeholder for mystery isn't functionally different from saying we don't know. It's like arguing over a locked box that no one has ever opened, touched, or described. That it must be meaningful. If there are no clear attributes, then there is nothing to affirm or deny. Undefined gods are removed from serious consideration because they can't be considered seriously. Most importantly, undefined gods by nature are not interventionist. They have no worshippers, no warriors, no warlords to worry the rest of us with their need to intervene. So what God are we talking about? People say you can't say there is no God. That's a God in what sense? A specific religious God? That's debunked history. A vague force? That's undefined and irrelevant. A possible future discovery? That's a scientific question, not a theological one. Bottom line, the word God has lost all coherent meaning.
Ooh, the word God has lost all its coherent meaning. Because everybody turns to a bunch of dudes every time they talk about it. Instead of just breaking down scripture word for word, bar for bar, and just showing a motherfucker that will still tell you, you're taking it out of context. But nigga, I'm reading from the book. But you said it wrong. How do I supposed to say it? Like a motherfucker, dude? You know what I'm saying?
But let's define in testable terms. It's not a useful or dependable point. I don't say there is no God lightly or for shock value. I say it because it's the most honest, most defensible position when we step back and examine the actual roots of the idea, not just the claim, but the entire scaffolding that keeps it standing in human society. See, the claim that a God exists doesn't exist in a vacuum. It never has. It's always tethered to specific historical, cultural, and political context. And in 100% of the cases where God has been defined, described, and worshipped, that God is attached to stories, claims about creation, intervention, morality, law, revelation. These are not abstract philosophical musings. They are concrete claims about the nature of reality, many of which are easily debunked, exposed as myth once we apply history, anthropology, basic critical thinking. Once those claims fall, the God falls with them.
That's right. Once you do your research, do the anthropology and the critical thinking is a critical motherfucking, like it's critical. You need that. So you be like, man, this guy ain't real. And if he was, this guy ain't shit. That's what you would come up to. That would be your conclusion.
The claim doesn't stand on its own. It's not just there is a God. It's there is this God who did these things and therefore deserves this kind of obedience, faith, worship. And once the actions and attributes don't hold up, the figures lose legitimacy. Now, some people, perhaps recognizing this collapse, try to move the goalposts. They say, well, sure, the gods of religion might be wrong. Maybe there's still something, higher power, force, and intelligence.
Yep, maybe there's still something, a higher power. Like you always got to clean to something. I'll be like, no, cling to yourself. Cling to your own understanding. Like, oh, you can't cling to your own understanding. It says it in the Bible. Yeah. God do a whole lot of motherfucking shit that'll make you motherfucking hate yourself for having a thought. Nigga, live on your own understanding. Do what thou wilt. All right? Do what you want. Because you want to do it anyway. You want to do it anyway, and these Christians just want to do bad things. They want to really truly sin, but they say we sinning for not being part of their program. But if we was part of their program, we can all sin together in the name of God. Fuck out of here. The fuck out of here. That shit crazy.
Something greater. The problem with that maybe is that it comes from want,
You
not
know,
reason. We didn't have a reason to say, well, maybe there is something there. Now we just want something to be there.
yep. Now you just want something to be there because some Christians know that God ain't real, but they gonna cling on to it anyway.
Talking about God anymore. With the box of question marks, vague speculation, no clear attributes, no testable claims, and no coherent definition. And that's where I draw a hard line. An undefined God has no attributes. No attributes means nothing to consider, nothing to test, nothing to weigh, therefore nothing to discuss. It becomes immune to critique, not because it's strong, because it's empty. And that's not clever. That's evasive. It's a placeholder for ignorance dressed up as a possibility. If you can't describe it, then it's not a concept. It's fog. So even if, hypothetically, of course, something were to emerge that turns out to be responsible for our existence, something that meets the definitional threshold of creator, we still have to ask, is this a God? And that answer would be no, unless it also meets the burdens of the gods already on record, the ones that are supposed to be good, powerful, wise, involved, moral, caring, and worthy of devotion. But here's the thing. None of those definitions survive scrutiny. None of them align with what we know about the world. The idea of a being that is all good and all powerful in a world riddled with senseless suffering isn't just improbable, it's incoherent.
Exactly. An all-loving, caring God that can change all this shit in the blink of an eye and don't do it. It's like, God, why have you come down here to save at least your people or save the planet that you so-called created and get all this evil off of this bitch? You know who's evil because you claim you have all this power, you know everything, you know our hearts. Well, get all these evil motherfuckers off this bitch so we can have peace. But nah, we don't get that.
The idea of all itself.
And going back to South Park, Family Guy, and every cartoon that made fun of Jesus and the devil, shouts out to them because they know that shit ain't real and they know that it'll pull on heartstrings and make motherfuckers react. South Park is on point with that shit. Family Guy is alright, but South Park really be on it when it comes to the Jesus and the devil shit. You know what I'm saying? And how South Park depict the devil is a fruitcake. You know what I'm saying? And if I was a fucking radical Christian, that'd be what I think. I'm like, man, nigga, fuck the devil, you're a fruitcake. Stump that nigga like Kirk Franklin say, stop. But the people say, stop. And Jesus is a badass with an AR-15 in South Park. So it's like, yeah, I'll fucks with that, Jesus. But the Jesus on Family Guy, he a nigga that can't get no hoes. He a lame.
It's an illusion. It's a projection of human desire for perfection, not a reflection of anything we actually observe in nature or experience. So if we say a God might exist, we have to ask, a God in what sense?
Yeah, pretty big gamble. It'll be worth it. Because I'm going to just tell God, I'm like, yo, you know what I'm here for, right? I'm here to whoop your ass. He'll be like, angels, get him. He'll be like, look. He gonna be like the nigga off of motherfucking Enter the Dragon sending the goons at me. I'm gonna be slaying angels. It's gonna be fucking heads and wings everywhere. Every fucking where. And Jesus gonna pop up and be like, no one can get to the Father but by me. I'm like, is that in that book that brainwashed my people on my planet? I'm going to enjoy whooping your ass. Jesus is going to be in the white form first, and then he'll go to his black form with the motherfucking wolf with the fiery eyes and shit. But his last transformation might be a little problem because in the book of Revelation, they say he's a giant slain lamb with 8 eyes and a sword coming out of his mouth. So yeah, like that's the kaiju battle. Like Jesus is a motherfucking mini boss fight. You know what I'm saying? Dude got 3 forms, but like when I fight God, when God catch these hands, I'm gonna beat him like Kratos did Zeus. I'm gonna whoop God like Asura did Chakravartin. I'ma fuck that motherfucker up like the cats from Persona 5 fighting y'all to Bayoff. I'ma go in like every Final Fantasy character, whooping the God. Give it to God.
The God of Genesis will walk in gardens, found the world.
Brought to you hilarious.
Falls apart under historical and moral analysis. In a God who communicates with prophets or written books, then that God is competing in the arena of evidence and losing. You mean a vague force that calls the universe. That's not a God. It's a question we haven't answered yet. And here's the part that doesn't get said enough. The idea of God is not just untestable. It's traceable. We can trace it. We know exactly where it came from. Not from the heavens, but from human minds. From ancient people trying to make sense of the sun, the seasons, and the suffering. The earliest gods were explanations before we had science. They were tools for power, for social cohesion.
Yep, there were tools for power and social cohesion. Let's give an example. When the colonizers came over here, murdered, raped, and pillaged his land, they motherfucking forced the Bible on the nigga. Like, they went straight to Deuteronomy, Exodus 21. They're like, yo, your God wants y'all to be slaves. So y'all gotta be slaves type shit. And God condones it all through the Bible. It even be like a motherfucker that's married to a slave woman, if the man is like supposed to be free within 6 or 7 years, but he loves the slave woman, he gotta become a slave. He gotta motherfucker get his ear pierced or some shit, and he motherfucker stay a slave forever. You know, like that's if he loved the child. But if he got 6 or 7 years and he free, and you know he's married, like he could choose to be like, well, I don't like being a slave, but I love my wife. I can't take it with me or I'm gonna die. Damn, I guess I'll stay with it. There's a lot of motherfuckers that was doing that, you know. That's right.
Fear management. There were placeholders. And the evidence for that is overwhelming. So when someone trots out an abstract God, one without a name, a personality, people, they're not defending the concept as it actually evolved. They're offering an intellectual decoy, reconstruction that ignores history, ignores anthropology, and ignores the very real fact that gods were never born in philosophy departments. They were born around campfires, in temples, in fear, in empire. We owe it to ourselves.
And fear. Ooh. That's another word. Yep, a lot of motherfucking fear. Motherfucker feel like they held at gunpoint in this Christianity shit. You know, like some motherfuckers afraid to do what we do and deconstruct and break the shit down because they afraid of being ridiculed by their friends, their family, their social circle, their, you know, the church family. They might have a motherfucking Christian girlfriend that soon as he tell her, like, look, I'm not going to church, I'm not Christian no more. I did my research, I can't fuck with it no more. She'll probably leave him. Look, a chick told me to my fucking face, you a good man and all, but I can't mess with you because you're not a Christian. That hurt it. At the time, I could laugh now because most Christians are retarded. And I also had to think to myself, I'm like, how dare she judge me? And like, bitch, you got 3 kids out of wedlock. You coming from some motherfucking crazy shit that you could have avoided just by saying no, bitch. And yeah, you looking down on me for not being a Christian, but you see my lifestyle, you see what I'm doing. I'm not in those streets. You're having a good time. You said I am a good man. So this Christianity shit is the motherfucking is where you draw the line. Okay, cool. And it's like you could have just told me that you're boring like all the other chicks. I'm like, boring. Being peaceful is boring. Staying out the way is boring. Okay. You must want to argue, fuss, and fight and shit. You want me to call you out your name and disrespect you and shit. That's live to you? Or like you want me to be out there in the street getting shot at or being locked up or whatever? Bitch, you retarded. It's fucking crazy. You know, that's fucking crazy. Yeah.
To say that out loud, not just to disbelieve, but to disengage from the illusion that the God idea deserves our constant redefinition and reinterpretation. It doesn't. At some point, you stop debating whether unicorns exist in case they live at the bottom of the ocean. You accept that they're myths and you move on. The same should be true for God. Not because we've ruled out every possibility in the universe, because every actual version of God we've ever known has already failed. Remains isn't clarity.
Woo! Every guy we already actually known has failed. It's either failed by showing up, failed by answering prayers, just failed in general. You know, I understand. You're afraid because if you let it go, you're going to sin and go into a dark path. No, you're not. Because if you know who you are, you good. You know what I'm saying? If you know that you ain't out here being an alcoholic, drug addict, burning bridges with your friends and family, fucking people over, lying, stealing, killing motherfuckers, you good. As long as you ain't doing none of that shit, you good. Stay the fuck out the way and do you. But Christians still get mad at that. They like, oh my God, how is he motherfucker still living with a smile on his face after he left Christianity? Some Christians are petty like that.
It's residue. So no, I don't believe in God. And more than that, I firmly say there is no God. Not because I think I know everything, but because I'm done pretending that the leftovers of ancient speculation are still worth the plate they're served on. Now, this conversation wouldn't be complete if I didn't address this elephant in the room. Many of you are watching this video right now saying, Durante, I hear you. That's true. Why does God feel so real?
Why does God feel so real? That's a good question. Because I'm going to say this. I think it's on some energy shit. Now, I ain't watched the end of this video. I'd watched 3 or 5 minutes of this shit. I never made it this far. But I'm going to answer before he say something. I think it's an energy thing. Presence of the Lord is here. The presence of the Lord is. Have you ever been to church and what you felt? It felt like a presence. It felt like a presence. You know what that is? You know what I found out later on? Thanks to Bobby Hemmett and Brother Panic. I found out that when we go to church and we giving all of our energy to this one entity that we have not seen, or maybe we have the vision in our mind of the picture that's on the goddamn wall, black or white, don't really matter. That energy is radiating around that room. And depending on the type of building it is, whether it's Tartarian or whatnot, it's absorbing that energy. But first, it's going to go around that fucking room. What that presence is yours. That is your love, your peace, your kindness, like all that righteous rejoicing shit. That's when the praising start. But before then, when y'all giving y'all shame, guilt, regret on the altar, y'all putting all your negativity out there. But when that music start, those drums play, those instruments get to flowing, everybody up dancing, moving around, that energy start flowing. That's you. That's the presence of everybody in that motherfucking room. The presence of the Lord is it? No, it's the presence of the people in that room with all that energy. And as soon as you walk out of church, you're drained. And you go back to doing all the same old fuck shit. It's like, goddamn, what just happened? It's an energy thing. It's energy. And what makes me mad about this whole fucking thing, every time you leave, the energy's still in that motherfucking spot and it's being absorbed by your pastor or the whatever entity that the motherfucker's serving that's still in fucking invisible. Or it's being absorbed by the walls, or maybe there's a monster underground that's feeding off the energy. But it's a form of energy harvesting to me personally, due to what I researched when it came to energy and parasitic energy vampires that you can't see. You know what I'm saying? It's like it's all around us and shit. You know what I'm saying? But that's a whole other story for a whole other goddamn day. I'm into a whole lot of different type of research, whether it's esoteric, Gnostic, alchemic, sorcerer type shit. I'm reading a lot of shit when it comes to energy and frequency and alchemy and advanced shit, chaos theory.
God feel real.
Yeah, that too. Yeah, psychic vampires. Yeah. Shouts out to the first lady.
Because we made God feel the same way we made Google feel omnipresent, the same way we made government feel omnipotent, the same way we assign agency, identity, and will to entire nations, corporations, and institutions. It's all the same kind of illusion. None of them are real. We make them real. They are projections, projections of our collective work, our collective identity, our collective fears and hopes pinned onto a symbol.
Yep. And it's all the collective energy in that church piled up. You know, I don't know for what, but shit. If there's multiple gods out there and everybody giving their energy to some shit, I think they just gave away their fucking energy to some random motherfucker saying, thank you. This righteousness is delicious. The presence of the Lord is here. Hell yeah, I'm full. Who's these motherfuckers? I'm coming back to this spot. You know what I'm saying? Psychic vampires, energy vampires floating around the churches and shit, circling like vultures. Give it to God.
Flag, or name.
Salute Philly OG.
Because of people, because of rituals, because of buildings, because of music, stories, grief, tradition, family, and fear. Because we carry the weight of our own existence and place it somewhere we think it can hold it for us. It's one of my favorite refrains. It's the people, stupid. That's what gives the God I
See? He came to that point like, is people stupid? I'm embracing that. I'm embracing it. I'm like, y'all motherfuckers are crank anchors. Dude, you got mail. Yay. You know what I'm saying? Crank anchors was the shit. Oh shit. My phone about to die. That shit at 15%. Wait a minute. Maybe I can put it on the charger and throw it over here real quick. And she said, 15%. You're a 15% pastor. Pastor Kane at Hurykane night trapped his church.
emotional gravity. It's substance, but it's scaffolding. It doesn't feel real because it's true. It feels real because we made it. We've spent millennia reinforcing it, songs, suffering, sermons, and silence. So if you've ever felt the presence,
Man, I made a mistake and motherfucking picked up my phone and I guess I pressed that. Now, do the stream and look up, level up, that bullshit string out shit. I did not do that. I was trying to move my phone over. I think I made a mistake and pressed that shit. Fuck that advertisement shit. But shouts out to Big Dog Philly OG.
God, it's action. No, it's felt longing, but felt human. And what a tragedy it would be to misinterpret our own humanity as the fingerprint of something else. Thank you for hanging out with me today. I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope something
Why is my shit doing that? Fuck this charger.
gave you some type of peace, or maybe even gave you some type of motivation. If you
They give you some motivation, more motivation. Probably got one more. We're gonna do one more. Much love. The First Lady Vonta. Y'all show love to the First Lady. And the Hurykane night trapped this church. Give it to God.
Can we use your house to trial our new pop-in roofs? We're looking for homeowners within valid states to test.
I'm not to believe in the Lord and know that everything's going to turn out right. Do you think that God hates homosexuals? Not my God. My God loves everybody. And what if you get to heaven and you find out he doesn't? Then I'm in the wrong place. Because if he don't want my son, he don't want me. And I will give him what for and skip off down to hell. Be nice to see my daddy again anyway.
Now, this is the deconstructed Christianity channel with Coach Renz. He just played a clip from a movie. I forgot the name of that damn movie. But she was like, if God don't want my fruitcake son, then he don't want me. I go down the hill and see my daddy. That's like Eddie Griffin said. I go to hell, get my dick sucked, smoke a joint, kick a bitch in the ass every now and then. But always love, much love to my First Lady. Oh my God.
The mentality that every Christian should have. Every Christian will claim that they are their God. is that God is a God of your God is a God of love. Then just like a good parent, a child has a behavior or have a lifestyle choice that you may not necessarily agree on. If you love that child and that lifestyle choice, or if they believe that that's how they go with you, if it doesn't harm anybody, it doesn't harm anybody. That loving parent is still going to love that child and welcome that child into their house. And because they love that child and they welcome that child into their house, they're still going to treat that child with love and respect. See, when you claim that you got a God of love, but because your child decided they don't want to believe in your God, and now you ostracize them, you kick them to the curb, you kick them out, you alienate them. You think so? The love in the community of man. Then you claim that you have love if you do that. Because man has decided what is the enormity of society, oftentimes we apply those normities to different gods. And when you apply those normities to different gods, now people, because of their emotional attachments, because of their fear of
Exactly.
then ostracize that child.
Oh yeah, exactly. You already know. You already know. Oh yeah. Got me daydreaming. Uh-oh. They can't let me put up a thumbnail no more either, because I had a thumbnail like of of like an AI, lady with like a nun fit, but but like she was sexy with it though. Y'all know my anime pictures or my AI pictures I be using, but you can't let me pull a thumbnail up no more. But I'll be able to throw something in my community post. Like I always do. I'll be like, thank you for coming to the service. I have a picture of an anime chick or AI chick. But god damn it. But yes, God and Daddy is headed for the bedroom. You already know. You already know.
Ostracize those people. Not show them any love. Just like that lady said, she's going to show her, she's showing her child love. Because if her God that she believes in is a God that says that that child cannot come into the house, the Lord, cannot come into heaven, then that's not a God that she wants, and she's going to give him 1-4. Yeah, okay, if you ain't from the South, you may not know what that means, but she's going to cuss his ass out, basically. She's going to let him know what real love is. That's the fact that regardless, she, how this God thinks, that God can't be her God. Because this woman is insinuating that she has a God of love, that loves people. And when a person is saying that I'm going to live a homosexual lifestyle, they're not harming you. They're not forcing you to live that lifestyle. They're not doing anything that's illegal. They're not doing anything, well, in some countries it is, so shit. They're not doing anything, but that's man.
Yep, the only country it's illegal in, well, far as I know, is Uganda. The Uganda president said, man, if y'all doing any degenerate shit out in public or to children, it is a wrap for y'all. So if y'all gonna be fruity, do it indoors. We got nothing against it, but like it was like the way it's just the way the West was pushing it. Hashtag what was going on over here in America with the drag queen story time. They was doing drag shows in schools. I'm talking about like they just kept on fucking with the kids. And then they just kept on throwing it in our video games and movies and our best-selling novels. They even took over Bud Light beer. It was crazy over here when it came to that lifestyle. But what really made us mad is they was fucking with the children. So like this what got Uganda was like, yo, we over here in Uganda ain't gonna motherfuckers tolerate that shit that goes on in the West. Fuck all that. We about to stop that degenerate shit. You know what I'm saying? Don't do that shit in public. Don't do no assaults. Don't mess with children, or your ass getting the death penalty. Simple.
They're not doing anything that hurts anybody else, that deals with anybody else other than them and their how they function. So who the hell are you to then treat them unkindly, treat them bad, because you don't like it and you believe that your God has told you that you shouldn't like it. Because of that, you then decide that that person's going to hell. They're condemned to hell. This is how your God works. He condemns these people to hell because of something he don't like. It doesn't harm anybody. That doesn't even matter in heaven, because in heaven, y'all ain't having sex. In heaven, y'all ain't married to nobody.
Right. Right. See, coach knows like shit, nigga. Like, y'all ain't smashing up in heaven. Eddie Griffin was like, I'm ready to go to hell, get my dick so I smoke a joint, kick a bitch in the ass, and you know what I'm saying?
Beliefs. So you're not good at that. You're not mad at anything. Then what harm would there be if there's a good person? Good person. And I know you're gonna say that's the wages of sin are so great that you can't work your way into heaven, and that to say wages of sin of death, and because of that, you're going to be cleansed of that in Jesus. Well, Jesus ain't never spoke against homosexuality. Actually, he did say that you got to follow the law. Right? He did say that.
Right, right. Jesus didn't go against homosexuality, but he did say you got to follow the law. Because Jesus said, I do not come down here to take any till from the law. That, so that means I condone all that shit that my father did in the Old Testament and the shit that he about to do come the so-called revelation.
But because of that belief, you're gonna say that your God feels the same way. And like this lady said, she'll skip her happy ass on down the hill. Because I think she said her daddy is down there, or uncle's down there. She said, but whomever is down there. And they're gonna have a grand old loving meeting in hell. In hell. It's a grand loving meeting. Since y'all think that you're gonna maintain your consciousness of who you are, the life you had, all your family members, they'll at least be with their family members in hell, loving one another. They're in heaven. Worried, concerned, distraught about your loved ones who are in hell. I want you to think about that for a second. If you're in heaven and your family is in hell and you're distraught over that loved one, do you really think that you can enjoy heaven? I don't think so.
Right. I don't think so either. That's why God wipes away your fucking memory and make you say, holy, holy. That's in heaven and hell is real. But
that's a message you need to listen to if your religion is supposed to be about love. But as with most cases, the worst kind of love is Christian hate. So y'all have a great day. We're on the road trip to Spokane, Washington to see my son. So these videos are gonna be sporadic as hell. Always remember you have to free yourself to be yourself because your greatness is
non-negotiable. Good journey, good vibrations. Give it to God. Now, this is the end of the first service of the Hurykane Night Chapters Church. We gonna ask some questions. That's what we do. We gonna ask them questions. Keep on asking questions. Question everything. Question God himself. In the words of Captain Kirk, what does God need with a starship? What does God need with a starship? Oh man, that's some cold lettering right there. That font generator. That's right. That's right. Hey, look at my first lady looking good. Oh, and what? Shouts out to everybody. Afternoon. I'm not sure. But shouts out to everybody coming through. Shouts out to the first lady, Vonta. Shouts out to Jordan. He the lead singer of the choir. Head singer. Shouts out to Bearded Conversations. Make sure y'all holler at the Bearded Tabernacle. That's tonight. Tonight, around like 10, right? 10 o'clock. That's what's up. I think, yep, 10 o'clock, 10 or 11. However the game go. Like I know it's 10 over here. Maybe at 10 on my end. Then shouts out to Big Dog Philly OG. We going in on these motherfucking Christians. Going in on God. All you gotta do is show us your face. Show us your face. Yep. Yeah, make sure y'all check out Ray Haggins. Look up Ray Haggins and look up the Paul lecture where Ray Haggins is talking about Paul. You know, everybody. Be safe and have an amazing day, everyone. You too, to my first lady. You already know what it is. Yep. Starts at 3 for me on Bit of Conversation. 3 a.m. Wow. Ooh, wait. How you be getting your rest in? Like, wow, like balancing work and the podcast and then hop on the lives and gig it all day. How do you rest? Like what's your time when you rest? Because I'm surprised you up. I'm surprised I'm up. I'm surprised everybody here. But some people partied all night and they in church right now. So yeah, like we probably get like at least 3 or 4 hours of sleep. Like that's really all we need is like a good 4 hours, like a good solid 4 hours of just good rest, no interruptions, headphones on, playing the soothing music, just cool with it. You know what I'm saying? 4 hours, yeah, tops, yeah, 4 or 5, yeah, 4 or 5 hours all we need. They be like, you got to sleep for 8 hours. Like nigga, sleep for 8 hours. Nigga, that's my whole night. Nigga, like I'll sleep for 4 hours so I can wake up and have some fun real quick. Pre-game before I go to work, or pre-game before I see somebody, or pre-game before I do whatever. But shouts out to everybody coming through. Y'all the truth. Y'all are the truth. This is Hurykane Night Baptist Church. We gonna ask these questions, y'all. Question everything. Shouts out to everybody. Hope you have a cool day. I'll be back in a minute. Probably I don't know what time, but definitely in the evening. I'm gonna give myself between 5 and 7. I'm gonna give myself between 5 and 7. But it might be impromptu. I might go live early. Like if I get high and I see something, I might just go live immediately. Who knows? I might do 3 services today. Who knows? But I got the StreamYard anytime minutes. I gotta be careful. So like this is already damn near 2 hours. Right. This is what weekend's for. That's right. I sleep when I can. That's what's up. That's what's up. I wish I was over there so I can put you to bed, to bed, to bed. I hear that song in a minute. I'ma put you to bed. And I'm gonna mess around and not wake up either. Like, yeah. You be up before I do. All the cool shit is on US time. I want to be on your time. 7 o'clock on the dot. I'm at my drop top, cause in the streets. Shout out to the first lady, Vonta. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to everybody coming through. Y'all the truth. Thank y'all. This is Hurykane Sunday Hoop Service at the Hurykane Night Baptist Church. We out.